Hey everyone, finish watching the next episode of Power Rangers RPM, Danger and Destiny Part 1. Despite activating the hybrids, Dylan manages to remain in control. A new attack bot appears and Dylan disappears. Dr. K ramps up working on her antidote, but gets captured by Tenaya 15. Ziggy tries to protect her, but gets taken as well. Venjix downloads all the information he can from K's computer and proceeds to destroy her lab. Dylan confronts him, but falls unconscious. When he wakes up, he finds and injects himself with K's antidote. It works, and he prepares to go back out. The Rangers have summoned the Megazord and are battling the attack bot. They destroy it, and Scott jumps down to fight Venjix one-on-one. Venjix uses what he gained from K's computer to disrupt the biofield and begins to disable the Zords. He effortlessly knocks away Scott and fires a blast at the Megazord. Gem and Gemma block the blast and fall out of their Zords. Venjix leaves to regain energy. Scott and his team watch helplessly as Gem and Gemma disappear into light. Dylan, meanwhile, sees K and Ziggy being taken away by grinders. Dylan contacts Scott. Scott tells him what's going on, and Dylan tells them where K and Ziggy are. Ziggy slips out of the handcuffs and frees K. They try to figure out what to do next. Outside, Kilobyte confronts Tenaya 15. A battle breaks out and Dylan jumps in to defend her. In their battle, he drops K's antidote. Ziggy picks it up and throws it to Dylan. He injects Tenaya with it and holds off Kilobyte. Scott, Summer, and Flynn make it just in time to destroy Kilobyte. Dylan is wounded but alive. Tenaya's memory comes back and goes back with the Rangers. K assures her that he'll be okay. Scott and the rest try to come up with a plan. K tells them they can't morph because Venjix has access to their biofields and can delete them like he did with Gem and Gemma. Together, they theorize that Venjix can be taken down with another computer virus. They ask Tenaya to return to Venjix's palace to plant the new virus. She's reluctant to leave her brother and go back. This is a great episode, perfectly building up the stakes and setting up for the ultimate finale. Everything comes together naturally. I wasn't sure at first that all the various elements present would. Dylan fighting to keep control, K's antidote, K and Ziggy being captured, Tenaya and Kilobyte's battle. Everything leads into everything else organically, and that's something I've wanted from all the past Disney seasons. So many of the past seasons just switch gears once they hit the end. The tone changes, alliances, personalities, even motivations aren't consistent. So many past seasons also have a new villain come out of nowhere. Or the main villain goes through a drastic change for no other reason but the end is coming soon. Lothor back in Ninja Storm just suddenly decides to take things more seriously. Dino Thunder Mesogog separates from Mercer and just becomes a mindless monster. SPD Grum becomes a mere lackey to Omni, a character that just came out of nowhere. Broodwing suddenly wants to take over the world for some reason, and the A-Squad are just bad guys now because, Mystic Force's villains were hardly ever consistent in their alliances or goals, but in the end especially, they're all shoved aside for Optimus or the Master. Apparently, the Master had an actual name all that time, but no one ever bothered to say it out loud. Jungle Fury, actually, for all its issues, handles Daishi competently. He was never a deep or interesting character. Similar to Mesogog, once he's separated from his human host, he's just a dumb monster. What I think makes Daishi's end a bit better than Mesogog's is that Daishi never had much depth. While Mesogog seemed like he had his own separate personality, but then I guess he didn't, and it was actually all just Mercer. Venjix has had a single goal that he's consistently worked towards all season. He wants to wipe out humanity and rule over a planet of robots. To bring up Mesogog again, what's his goal? To bring about a new age of dinosaurs, but how? What does he ever do to work towards that goal? He may or may not have built some robot dinosaurs, but that's about the closest he ever gets to actually working towards his goal, and it wouldn't even achieve what he wants anyway. Back to RPM, the Rangers actors really sell the emotions here. Their personalities are held through all sorts of different situations. Gem and Gemma are apparently dead, but there's a glimmer of hope they can come back. Venjix accessed the biofield and deleted them, but if anyone out there knows anything about technology, deleting something doesn't always mean it's gone for good. A while ago, I finished reading the tedious Ranger Academy comic. Towards the end, Dark Spectre pops in and infects various characters, which somehow causes him to control the Morphin Grid. Venjix here in RPM does something similar, but it's far less complicated. The biofield is basically RPM's version of the Morphin Grid. Venjix scanned its information and thus knows how to undo it. In Ranger Academy, Dark Spectre possesses one character, and that somehow leads to him being able to possess more if they access the Morphin Grid. It's not nearly as clear as what's going on in RPM. Here, it creates a desperate, tense situation. In that comic, it's just another convoluted bunch of technobabble intended to be just another obstacle to drag out the narrative. The Zords disappearing is a legitimately emotional moment. I haven't felt something for the Zords in a season in a long time. I think the last time I cared about the Zords was back in Wild Force. Tanaya finally has her memory, at least partially restored. Sadly, she and Dylan will probably never have all their memories back due to the progression of the Venix virus. I'm so curious what the original outcome was to be for them. Eddie Gazelian has said in interviews he doesn't fully recall what his plans were. I'm assuming he only had a vague idea of where things would go, and when he was kicked off, he forgot about it and moved on to other things. I'd love if the comics could explore all the fascinating what-if scenarios the show had, bring on writers or actors to tell their own stories. Of course, they're too busy rebooting their own reboot and developing Tolkien levels of lore about it, so that's not gonna happen. Next time, the RPM finale. Will everything work out? Will our heroes see a happy ending? I'm looking forward to it. So that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.